Hey, everybody. My name is Chris Conley. I am a motion picture and television editor. And recently, I've been making some videos about the transition we've been making, migrating our charity app. My wife and I run a charity. We co founded and run PIFster, the Pay It Forward charity. And it's dependent upon proprietary tech, an app. And our developer, unfortunately and tragically, died about a year ago. And so I've been making the migrating the app to a WordPress plugin using AI, and that's been discussed in a couple videos. And as part of that, we're now realizing we need to really dig into social media and try and promote ourselves. Obviously, we need to grow our charity to make it self sufficient. So we've been investigating the idea of doing kind of a podcast, and there's only two of us. We have very little money, and a couple weeks ago or a month ago, I was tempted by a product called Podpilot, and I actually did a video, and ultimately I ended up getting a refund on that because it did not live up to the hype, in my estimation. Subsequent to that, however, I became aware of another product called CloneVoice. And this software is put out by a company that I have bought some stuff from before. The founder's name is Paul Pana, I believe, and he's got a variety of softwares. And what's fascinating about him is that all of their software has lifetime deals, and they're very fairly priced, and they're surprisingly powerful, I think. And I had bought this Clone Voice because it was going to be useful for me in my professional, uh, for professional application. I often am doing film doctor jobs, patching up films that need some help and whatnot. And what I intended to do was to be able to take a snippet of an actor's dialogue and clone it, and then be able to write voiceover. Because oftentimes, what we need to do to fix these films is to do a little voiceover or something to clarify a story point. Now, trust me, I understand the um, irony of a film editor who is struggling to find work these days because the industry has taken it in the shorts, partly because of fears about AI, uh, to be using AI to clone actors' voices um, to fix projects. This does not, you know, escape me. Thus far, everything that I've done that with, we've used it purely for temp, and we brought the actors in and recorded them actually, so that they got paid or whatever, so that we weren't using their clone voice. But it does help to sell the idea when you're trying to fix something, to have a voice that makes sense instead of just a random, me speaking it or something. Pardon my dogs. So I already had this product, and was very happy with it because it actually is surprisingly good at taking a sample of speech and cloning it. Unbelievably good, actually. Well, so I was digging around in it, and in addition to the ability to clone voices, over here was these three dots, which I really didn't pay much attention to, and in there was something called My Podcast. I thought, well, that's interesting. I clicked on that, and what is it? There's a thing here that says create a new podcast. I thought, well, that's fascinating. So if you go in there, you can see that you can have up to 4 speakers, and you can point it to a website, so it'll go kind of figure out what um, what your topic is or whatever. So if I put in our website, and then you add the voices cloned. I put in both my own and my wife's, and I can have a conversation that goes back and forth between the two of them. And then you can type in a topic. Um, you could say, you could do randomly, like discuss the principles of paying it forward, $1 at a time. You could do something like that, and the AI within the software will go on and generate something. But what I did, and it I think gave better results, is once again, as a nonprofit, we have access to Gemini Pro. I would go into Gemini and I would say something like, can you write me a script, 5 to 10 minutes, about the fears and jubilations of being able to migrate our app to a web app using Windsurf and AI? It should also be energetic and entertaining back and forth between Chris and Shoshana. And you let that thing start to generate a script, and you can bring the whole script over. So let's just let that happen here. We're going to go through the whole process. Okay, so here is what Gemini came up with. Podcast script, Great Migration, Fears and Jubilation, Episode 8, Escaping the App Store. We can probably do away with the sound effect, but it goes back and forth. So it's got Chris, Shoshana, Chris, Shoshana, Chris, Shoshana, and it goes down, da, 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 da. So what I do is then I take that and literally just copy it, come back over to this software and paste it in. Now, again, I'll probably go up and take out the bit about the sound effect. Let's just get rid of that. We don't need to make more complicated than it needs to be. Shoshana, Chris. They do their thing. And it seems like the extraneous notes and whatnot are out. Click, I've read and agree. Hit create new podcast. Oops, sorry. You got to give, even though I'm using clone names, you actually have to give them names. So let's name them Chris and Shoshana. All right. Now let's do it. Create new podcast. All right. So it goes off and it does its thing. Now, just to back up a little bit, the way that I clone these voices, and I'll play a sample of, my voice because I sit here and yap at you all the time. But I think you'd be kind of amazed at the quality of the clone. What I did, once again, I leaned so heavily on Gemini, as I asked Gemini to give me a short script for both myself and my wife that would give enough transients, phonemes, and parts of speech to make a good clone. And it gave me a nice little script, and then I recorded it, trying to do it as naturally as possible with energy and enthusiasm, and then my wife did the same. And from those two scripts, we each cloned our voice, and that's what you'll be hearing here. Okay, so here is the podcast. And it shows here, it rewrote potentially a little bit of the dialogue. Chris, hey, we did it, Shoshana. We actually did it. The shackles are off. Whoa, you sound like you escaped from Alcatraz, blah, blah, so here's AI being funny. By the way, one of the things we did too, because, AI is a sort of a controversial subject, and people wonder if it's cheating or somehow unethical or whatever. What we did is we sent out an email and continue to let our donors and users know that we're doing a podcast, and the podcast is AI. We've totally leaned into that, and we say, look, there's only two of us, and the reason that we're able to keep our margin overhead so low is that we're leaning into this AI thing. So the voices are ours, the ideas are ours, the enthusiasm is ours. The only thing is, it's being presented by digital versions of us, and our users have been receptive to that. So if it's something that you're thinking about, I would also suggest that you just lean into it, and for similar reasons, say you're just leveraging the tools that are available so that you can be in two places at one time. That's kind of the strategy that we used. So here it is. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time reading this. Usually I do give it a read through just to make sure that it didn't say something that is patently untrue or that is embarrassing in some way, shape, or form. But for purposes of this, I'm just going to let it rip. Boy, we get into quite a, okay. So yeah, so here we go. I'm going to say, go for it. Generate the podcast. Now it'll say, it sits here and it processes. So I will just pause us here. And when it comes back, let's see what time it is. It's 1:15. So we'll see how long it takes. And I will pause this. Okay, I am back. And let's see. It is 21 after. So I think it was actually 16 after. So what is that? 5 minutes. Took 5 minutes. I have not even played this yet. So you're going to hear it at exactly the same time I am. I will obviously not play the whole thing because I think it's about 10 minutes long. But I just kind of wanted to go through this process so that you can hear it. And before I do that, just because it's probably interesting to some folks, hi, this is what I used for my clean sample to clone my voice. And again, this was based on the script from Gemini. Hi, I'm Chris Conley. At PIFster, we believe that when compassion meets action, we can change the world. Okay, so that sounds like me. I did the best quality recording that I could. This is my wife.
Good morning, business builders. I'm Shoshana from PIFster, the Pay It Forward charity. We are committed to connecting caring individuals with small local charities that make the deepest impact. All right, so that's what she sounds like. And so you now have some kind of a reference when we play this thing, how good the clone is or not. So here we go. We did it, Shoshana. We actually did it. The shackles are off.
Whoa. You sound like you just escaped from Alcatraz. Welcome back to the PIFster Pulse, everyone. I'm Shoshana.
And I'm Chris. And honestly, I feel like I did escape Alcatraz. Or at least I escaped the App Store review process, which is basically the same thing, but with more paperwork and less sunshine.
Okay, let's unpack this.
That's pretty good. Is it perfect? Probably not. And every so often there's a weird inflection or a weird this or a weird that. But I've been listening to myself for 58 years, and I don't know that I would be able to tell the difference that wasn't me. And my wife sounds like that too. So I'm actually quite impressed. So I don't know what else to say really, other than the fact that anybody who's looking to do podcasts with cloned voice or any other work with cloned voices, this software is really good, and it's really quite affordable, really. They do have an affiliate program, it turns out. So if you are so inclined, I'll put the link down below. If you purchase it through my link, I guess I get a few bucks. But if you go down, well, wherever, I'll find the button here. And I can tell you this, the company is, so here's the thing. I got the all access pass, which of course they try to tell you it's got all this stuff. But it is $148, and they don't screw around. There's no upsells once you click through or anything like that. You click that, that's what you pay, and it's a lifetime access. And I have used some of their other software for years now, and they've never reneged. It's always available. It always works. I'm actually a fan, I have to say. So, and there's some other stuff in here too. Like I'm not particularly interested in it, but some folks might be. There is actually a, I believe, although I don't see it here for some reason, music. Everybody's making AI music, right? So this has got the ability to make music. I don't know that it's as good as some of the others, but given that it's included and it's unlimited usage and it's right there, how about PIFster, the Pay It Forward Charity. Whatever. Let's see what it does here. I'll create a lyric and then we'll build some music. I don't want to make you guys wait through. All right. Well, I guess it made the lyrics already. Enter music name. So PIFster song. All right. I've read and reviewed the terms. Blah 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 blah. I'm not even going to read it. Let's just generate it. And again, I'll pause this so you guys don't have to sit here and wait. And then we'll play the song. And then I'll sign off. I guess I don't want to bore everybody to death. All right, I'm back. That only took like a minute, so it wasn't long at all. Let's see what the PIFster song sounds like, just for fun.
Saw a face that looked so lonely on the street today. On the hand, didn't need to hear a single word they say. It ain't about the money, baby, it's the love we give. That's the rhythm, that's the PIFster beat. Keep the good times rolling down the avenue. Give it freely, make the circle complete. Now go find somebody else to see you through.
All right, enough of that. But it's fun. Why not? But I've got legitimate use for this. I have used it professionally, like I said, in film work. And now we're using it in our charity promotion efforts. And the voice clone is as good as I've heard, and the price is fairly reasonable, and it's lifetime access. So I guess that's it. I'm going to shut up, and I will put the link down below. So if you're interested, I guess I'd appreciate it if you'd buy through the link, because I probably make $10 or something. I don't know. All right. God bless y'all. And I hope it's fun for somebody.